It's hard to believe it's been 15 years since Transformers Prime first hit our screens back in 2010. For many of us, this show wasn't just another Saturday morning cartoon. It was the show, the one that redefined what Transformers could be. It wasn't just robots fighting. It wasn't just flashy CGI. It was storytelling, powerful, emotional, mature, and above all, unforgettable. Growing up, I was obsessed with Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, Batman, all the heroes in the worlds that defined my childhood. But out of all of them, Transformers was always my favorite. There was just something about it. The sound of metal shifting, the courage in their voices, the bond between warrior and machine, and at the center of it all stood Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime wasn't just another hero to me. He was my hero. The voice, the wisdom, the strength. He represented what it meant to be a true leader that led with honor, to fight for what's right, and to never give up, no matter the cost.
Sometimes we must rise above ourselves for the greater good. While it is unlikely that any Decepticon will choose the path of good, even they possess the potential for change.
We didn't realize it back then, but Transformers Prime was doing something rare. It was teaching us, inspiring us, and showing us that even in a war of metal and chaos, there could still be hope. When Transformers Prime debuted, the world had already seen countless takes on Autobots and Decepticons. From G1 to animated, from Beast Wars to the Bay films, each version brought something new. But Prime struck a balance. It captured the soul of the original while elevating it into something cinematic, grounded, and emotionally rich. This wasn't just a kid's show. It was epic storytelling. The writing, the tone, the world building, everything respected both the lore and the audience. The stakes were real. Characters could die and stay dead. Consequences matter. Every battle left scars, both physically and emotional. And through it all, Peter Cullen and Frank Welker returned, the voices of Optimus Prime and Megatron, legends who defined generations.
Misdirection, Optimus. You would have made a fine Decepticon.
I chose my side.
Their performances gave this show weight and a sense that we were witnessing something bigger than life. There had been many versions of these two titans, but Transformers Prime gave us their most human portrayals. Optimus wasn't just a hero, he was burdened, a leader carrying the weight of an endless war. Behind that calm, noble voice was sorrow, the knowledge that peace might never come, but he fought anyway. And Megatron. Frank Welker's chilling delivery made him even more than just a villain. He was a fallen idealist, a warrior who once fought for justice, twisted by power and pride. Their rivalry wasn't just good versus evil, it was tragedy. Two brothers who shared the same goal, forever divided by how far they were willing to go.
At last we take our rightful places, Optimus, as gods, wielding the power of the cosmos.
I am but a soldier, Megatron. And you are a prisoner of your own twisted delusions.
Even now, Transformers Prime looks stunning. It was made for television, but it felt like cinema. Every transformation was deliberate and heavy, and you could feel the gears, the mechanics, the weight of these beings. The lighting, the reflections, the way emotion was conveyed through their optics. Everything was top tier. These weren't just machines. They were characters with souls. Even the environments carried emotion, from the desolate deserts of Earth to the haunting beauty of Cybertron. And when you saw the Nemesis floating in the sky, it didn't feel like a cartoon. It felt real. And then there was the music. Composer Brian Tyler gave Transformers Prime a score that didn't just occupy the story, it elevated it. For a so-called kids show, the music was on the level of a blockbuster film. Sweeping strings, thunderous percussions, and a heroic brass made every moment feel grand. Every cue carried emotion, from the tension of battle, to the quiet pain of loss, to the noble strength of Optimus Prime himself. It wasn't just background music, it was the heartbeat of the show. Cinematic, powerful, and unforgettable. Transformers Prime respected us as viewers. It wasn't afraid to explore pain, loss, loyalty, or redemption. From RC's trauma, to Ratchet's guilt, to Starscream's endless desperation for validation. Every character had a story to tell. Even the humans, Jack, Miko, Raph, weren't just comic relief. They were the emotional bridge between worlds. And when the show hit hard, it stayed with you. Moments like Bumblebee finally speaking, the fall of Cybertron, and Optimus Prime's final farewell. They all hit like a punch to the heart because they were earned. So why does Transformers Prime still resonate 15 years later? Because it understood what makes Transformers timeless. It was about identity, about family, about leadership, sacrifice, and what it means to choose compassion in a world built for war. It respected the past, but dared to grow. It gave us heart, heroism, and meaning. For so many fans, Prime wasn't just the best Transformers show, it was the definitive one. The one that defined what this universe could be. As the years go by, new fans will discover Transformers Prime. They'll meet these versions of Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, RC, and they'll feel the same awe and wonder as we did. But beyond the action, beyond the animation, there's something deeper, something that stays with us long after the final episode fades to black. Great shows, the ones we grew up with, shape us. They teach us lessons long before we realize we're learning them. Lessons about courage, about loss, about regret, about change. Lessons about what it means to stand up, even when you're scared. What it means to keep going, even when the world around you feels like it's falling apart. That's what Transformers has always been about. Not just metal and machinery, but hope. The simple, powerful idea that no matter how dark the night gets, as long as there is light, it will light our darkest hours. And Transformers Prime took that message to the next level. It didn't just give us heroes, it gave us role models, true leaders in a world overflowing with false ones. Characters who showed us that strength isn't about being the biggest or the loudest. It's about compassion, loyalty, selflessness, and the courage to make the right choice, even when it's the hardest ones. Optimus Prime embodied that. He wasn't perfect. He struggled. He doubted himself. But he never lost sight of who he was or what he stood for. And through him, the show reminded us that we can choose who we want to be too, even in our own lives, in our own battles. That's why Transformers Prime still means so much, because it isn't just entertainment, it isn't just nostalgia. It's a reminder, a spark, telling us that we are capable of more than we think, that there is more to us than meets the eye. Just like the Autobots, we carry our own light, our own strength, our own potential to rise, transform, and become something greater. 15 years later, Transformers Prime still inspires us, still moves us, still reminds us of the heroes we admire, the lessons we learn, and the spark that continues to glow within us. And that's why, no matter how many years pass, Transformers Prime will always be more than meets the eye.
Above all, do not lament my absence, for in my spark, I know that this is not the end, but merely A new beginning. Simply put, another transformation.